so everybody can see. Trying to get a little close. Intimacy. Don't fall off the table. Off the trail.
Off the table?
Off the table. Sorry.
The water table.
Yeah, the water table. But anyhow, this plant here, we're on here's the other plant community. This rock, these rock outcroppings, this loose rock is another plant community. We call it a scree slope. Remember I talked about plants that also, there's certain rocks that are poisonous to plants or are kind of inhospitable. This little guy right here, this little cute little white guy, is a buckwheat, another buckwheat. And it only grows on the carbonate, this type of rock. So we call that, remember I talked about endemic plant? There is an indicator plant and there's endemic. Remember, indicator tells you where you're at. And an endemic plant is a plant that only grows in a small space, only in one small place. Well, this is an example.
What kind of buckwheat?
This is a cushionberry buckwheat. Cushionberry. And it's only found growing on this rock type only on this side of the mountain. So it's only found on north-facing slopes with the rocks like this. And you can see they grow up pretty high up, kind of around here. And they're only growing on this kind of this really rich.
What are the indicators of being endemic?
Of the soil.
Soil being endemic?
Yeah, they're only growing on this soil type.
And what's special about the rocks? Oh yeah, you said it was
they're
the
calcium carbonate, what they make tons out of. These aren't very rich in calcium carbonate, but just enough to kind of keep the other plants from growing. Okay, also now let's turn around. Okay. Slowly and carefully. Okay, well, we'll be able to take a picture when you're down. We're going down the way, same way. Okay, you're looking at the desert. Okay, look at the color of those mountains there off to the right. See those mountains just past this mountain? And look at our slope that we just came by. This is the slope I'm talking about, right in front of us. The slope's just past it. Look at the difference between those two slopes. You can just see the color difference. There's just not the same plants. Once you get to that side of Deep Creek, that's the desert, literally. I mean, this is very few places where you're going to be able to stand up and just see a line that distinct. All that forest you see in the desert, that's all Victorville and Hesperia. So imagine that was gone. All the dark green. That's the Mojave River below us, that big wash. That's the Mojave River. And again, you can see the different plant communities we walked up. Down there, that's all the sand plant and the gravel down on the flatland. Look at the slope here. That's the slope we're walking up, kind of mixed vegetation. The wash, the riparian wash that we just sit in is right there with the trees. Okay, now look at, we're on the slope again. Now, I want you to pay really close attention. As soon as we cross that corner, we're in a completely different, I mean a drastically different. You're going to see night and day. On that side of the slope is a manzanita forest. So we're going into a manzanita forest. The only reason why the manzanitas are growing on that side is it's in the sun and also because of the rock, but mostly the sun. So look at these plants here on this slope. Cherry trees, oak trees, there's some other kind of different shrubs. Once we get on that side, it's almost all going to be manzanita. And I also want,
I'm sorry, that's south facing?
Yeah, south facing. Also, and different soil type too. Also, look at the ground here. Pay attention to all these little plants, right? You see all these little plants? When we get on that side of the hill, do the same thing. Look at the ground and you'll see it'll be like night and day. It's pretty cool. And you guys are lucky because the manzanitas are blooming.
Yeah.
So I need you guys to move that way.
Yes.
I need you guys to go that way.
How you doing?
I'm loving you. That's what I'm doing.
That's good. Love me.
I'll go ahead of you.
But I gotta get your name first. What's your name?
Right here, guys, this is where the soil changes. This line right here. So as you walk by this line, look, one side different soil, this side another soil. This is a manzanita, by the way. This is what we're going to be in, a manzanita forest. There's nothing growing here.
Hay nada?
Nothing, because the ground doesn't support it. Completely different. It doesn't even look like that. If you look at that, those bushes and these bushes are even the same color.
It smells different.
And this lumpy stuff, if you see the lumpiness on the earth, that's lichens in the ground. That's what we call cryptobiotic crust.
Cryptobiotic crust?
Yeah, those are good for the soil. So again, look at these plants, completely different. This is what we call chaparral. You hear the term chaparral? This is chaparral. The other nice thing about the vegetation here is every plant you see here is designed to burn. Every one. So we're completely in California here. There's not a single plant here that doesn't need fire. In fact, there's a plant right behind me. This plant right, this kind of ugly thing. We saw these blooming at my sister's with the bush poppy with the big yellow flowers. This plant is a fire follower. It only grows after a fire. So this plant grew here after, when this whole place was burnt, who knows, maybe 100 years ago or so. Yeah,
and that
fire
would get
follower.
those big yellow flowers from
Yes,
it?
so it's dying because the other plants are growing back. But if you see a plant like this is a bush poppy, you know you're in a high fire area. So this is a high fire area. The chamise I was telling you about, the plant that kind of spontaneously combusts, is this guy right here, full of oil. So this is a very different plant community than when we were just in. And as we'll continue to walk,
So
you'll
when
see.
you said that there was one way down there, it came from here?
Yeah, remember the ecotone, you have
Yeah.
mixes of both.
Okay.
But here we're actually in the solid. We're no longer in the ecotone. The ecotone is down there in that valley between the desert and here.
Name of that?
This is a manzanita forest, but we're in California for sure. This is definitely California. Bush poppy.
Bush poppy.
Yeah, and again, look at the mountains. You can actually see right at that dam, the hill just to this side of the dam, our side of the dam has bushes. The hill just on their side of the dam has nothing.
What was that one called? The combustible one?
Oh, that one's a chamise.
Chamise.
Chamise. C-H-A-M-I-S. Yeah, that's the Mojave River right there that flows down like this. See it out there? It makes this is the one fork and the other fork goes back. The home path is over there. Remember again, the manzanita has a thick leaf. So the opposite of the little leaf behind you.
Is it the same as the next tea?
Manzanita you can make tea out of it, but it's not the same.
It's poisonous.
No, it's not poison, it's just not the same. Manzanita is manzanitas, a chamomile. I was just showing them again how these plants, unlike down there we have oak trees with the thick leaves, up here there's no oak trees, so the manzanitas have the thick leaves. But again, the same technology.
The area is named after the tree?
Huh? The manzanita is the fruit. Looks like a little apple. That's what's called manzanita. You can eat it. Can I taste it? No. Not poison.
You can eat it, right?
Little white flowers? No, eat the fruit.